It's me, Renee. I'm back. And yeah, I've got another book haul for you guys. So yeah, lately I've been doing quite a few of those. It's been a mix of like I've bought a lot of books and also kind of haven't really been in the mood to like do much of anything else really. Though have done one original tag, so I haven't done nothing else. But yeah, but yeah, and now I'm constant want to do like branch out and do something else again. Like lately, I've been doing a lot of tags and hauls and TBRs, and that's it. And I kind of want to do recommendations or something else. Yeah, not quite sure what I'm gonna do. That's something else. And anyway, this is a haul because I have books to haul. And yeah, I haven't said this before, but I might say this now. I buy a lot. Well, I buy a lot of most of these books because I work in a bookstore. I get half price off. If I didn't work in a bookstore, I probably wouldn't buy that much. And please don't feel pressured to buy lots of books just because I have lots of hauls on my channel lately. Think of this as like if you see one of these books and think, oh, that looks interesting, you could check it out from the library. This is a way of me talking about books that I found interesting and that I bought for me personally. And it's not a way of bragging and saying like, ha ha ha, I've got all the money. It's not that way. I suppose it might be like implicit, like anyway that kind of seems in a way you can't escape that thing, I suppose. But like mainly that's not it. It's yeah, I I don't know. I kind of wanted to show you my new books, simple as that. And yeah, I have quite a few ones. Oh, quite a few. Well, yeah, quite a few. Though I think I'm gonna do them all in one clip because, like, I have all the ones that I kind of want to hold here. And did I say this? I don't think it's no. I'm thinking this might be the last before my Christmas gifts. But then again, maybe I'm wrong. But like at this point in time, like, there's not like a lot of more books that I'm waiting on that I've ordered, and there's not like lots of many more books I wanted to buy. I suppose I could say like I don't have room for more, but I have like made room and like no room. I mean, there's always room for books, but yeah. So yeah, let's get to the books. First, we have reading aloud, true stories of curious incidents from the Provincial Library by Chris Paling. So yeah, it's what it says. It's a non-fiction book about anecdotes from a library. I'm a librarian by education. I love books. I've had some experience in libraries, and yeah, libraries you get lots of different people. And yeah, so this seems like a fun little read. It is not a long one. It is at just under 300 pages. So yeah, might pick this one up for nonfiction November, or might pick it up later. But yeah, now on it. And yeah, this was a book I just kind of found randomly while browsing, so I haven't really heard much about it, but I'm kind of thinking like it can't be that bad. I'm thinking like I mean like first of all like people don't well mostly people don't publish awful books because you have to go through the publisher, the editor, etc. etc. Though you still have some bad books being published. But like also this is not fiction, it's anecdotes. So I'm thinking like why would it include bad anecdotes? I'm thinking that some of the anecdotes might not hit, but I'm thinking probably most of them will. So yeah. And then we have the ultimate Disney quiz book. So I love Disney. I had some videos from my early days on YouTube actually about that, but I was kind of unsure in the beginning of this year, so I put them as like meant for kids because Disney, so you can't comment on it, but you can view them. And yeah, I love quizzes. I love Disney, and yeah. So yeah, at this moment I have a little collection of quiz books. Oh, collection. It's beginning to be like 5, 6 books now. Have I used them like with people with this books I have yet? Not so often, but you know, I mean, now I have lots of quiz books, so when the time arises, I have lots of quiz books to use. So yeah. Then we have a fiction book, which I think most of these, well, there's gonna be a few non-fiction books in here. If it's gonna be 50-50, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, Finley Dunway is killing it. This is actually an adult fiction book, and I don't think it's a romance. I think it's more like a humor, contemporary-ish read. Like it's about. Okay, so I'll read you the back. Finley Donovan, single mom and floundering crime writer, is having a hard time. Her ex-husband went behind her back to hide a nanny, and this morning she sent her 4-year-old to school with hair duct taped to her head after an unfortunate incident with scissors. Making it to lunch with a literary agent is a minor victory, but as is discussion the plot of her latest crime novel, the conversation is misinterpreted. Sorry, is misinterpreted by a woman sitting nearby as that of a hit woman offering her services to dispose of a problem husband. And when a woman slips Finlay a name and a promise of a large sum of cash, Finlay finds herself plotting something much bigger than a novel. After all, they do always say, write what you know. So maybe she'll become a hit woman. Accidental hit woman. And that just sounds so fun. It's dark, but yeah, sounds very fun. And it's gotten some good reviews from people. And well, I'm not quite sure where I heard about this, but like I heard about it and I thought, and I read about it and thought like, oh, it looks cool. So yeah, now I own it. Then we have non-fiction. No, it's not a non-fiction. It's fiction. It's The Princess and the Prick. Feminist. Sorry, fairy tales for feminists. And so revisit childhood classics, but not as you remember them. Familiar fables are turned on their heads as your beloved heroines finally have their say. These stories will never be the same again. So yeah, this is the familiar fairy tales, but retold in a feminist way. And yeah, I'm just all for that. And now we have another non-fiction book. Who ate the first oyster? The Extraordinary People Behind the Greatest First in History by Cody Cassidy. So yeah, I've been, as you probably know, or might know, I suppose this might be your first video of me, but yeah, I've been reading more non-fiction lately, at least last few years. And this just sounds interesting because it's kind of general, like about first of everything, first this, first that, and yeah, I'm curious about that. And yeah, it's not a long book, and yeah, quite curious. This just sound just also quite a fun title. Who ate the first oyster? Quite a good way to catch your attention. And yeah. Then we have. Oops, my books just fell on the floor. Give me a little moment. Give me a little moment. I'm back. So this is actually first of two. Yeah, two of this offer in this wall. I'm not gonna talk them at the same time because I'm gonna mix it up. But yeah, we have. Sorry. Dishonesty is the second best policy and other rules to live by David Mitchell. So David Mitchell is a very famous, one are you famous and one very, very famous. I'm gonna call him very famous. British comedian. Well, he's a British comedian, so might not be famous for everyone, but like to me, he's very famous. He's been on QI quite a lot of time. He's quite a lot of times. He's a regular on Wilty. Will I lie to you? And yeah, he's kind of also like famous for doing rants and yeah. This I think is one of his newer books. Just came out 2019, so yeah, quite kind of new. I've already read his memoir a few years ago. Really enjoyed it, and yeah, I just love David Mitchell. So curious about this one. So this is kind of like yeah, little essays about different same things that he has thought about, and yeah. So this is not unlikely I'll pick up next week. Well, maybe next week. But yeah, for non-fiction November. And yeah, I recommend you to check out David Mitchell on YouTube. He's just so funny. Then we have The Duke Undone by Joanna Lovely. So this is a beautiful cover, and it's historical adult fiction. Well, historical romance for adults. And I believe this might be the debut book of the author. Do I? Okay, it doesn't say, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's historical romance, which I've been which I've been reading much more lately these last few years, and I was about to say quite a few this year. Maybe I haven't read that many this year. I don't think of reading many this year. I feel like somehow I've read more this year. Anyway, yeah, A Duke Undone. It's an artist stumbles upon a naked duke. An unlikely love story begins in this captivating Victorian historical romance. So yeah, it's just kind of weird meet cutes, and then things stumble from there. And yeah, an essay collection which I have, I think, quite a few of now, like from this all and in general. But yeah, I really enjoy essay collections. This is, let me just check. Yeah, it is that guy. Cool. But yeah, this is Sure, I'll Be Your Black Friend. Notes from the Other Side of the Fist Bump by Ben Felipe. So it's a non-fiction book about, being the black best friend and, being black in North America, well, United States. I'll read you back since we've been doing a lot of that in this video, but why not? Sorry. Am I having a cold? I don't think so. Anyway, a biting, hilarious memoir in essays chronicling a lifetime of being a black friend. See also foreign kid, boyfriend, co-worker, student, teacher, roommate, enemy in white spaces. Yeah, so it's being black in white spaces. So it's North America, but also different and yeah. And it's written by Ben Felipe, who's mostly famous for writing young adult contemporaries. He's written 2 books at this time. Field Guide to North American Teenager, and also Charming as a Verb. But yeah, this is his first book for adults and his first non-fiction book. And yeah, I'm interested to read this book. This book sounds good. Then we have a book that might offend you. Maybe not offend you, but like some of you might get a bit embarrassed by this book. Like, and I'm not really sure how I got, like, how I found this book. I think I found it just randomly. But yeah, to me, this some people it might be like, but to me this is interesting and I like it. And yeah, I'm probably gonna read it soon. I'm thinking because it's short. It is Women Who Poop. Sorry, Women Don't Poop and Other Lies. So it's a non-fiction book about toilets and toilet habits and like myths around toilets and stuff like that. And it's kind of like it has lots of pictures and then some text. So it's kind of very accessible in that way. It's not like a huge chunk of a book, but still, well, I'm gonna assume it's still interesting. Thinking it will be. And yeah, this is a bit weird, but I'm I'm curious. I'm curious in general. I like myths about pooing and myths about toilets. I'm there for it. I'm there for it. I like being educated about like what's myths and what's not. And yeah, like last year, 2 years ago, last year I read a Norwegian book about how in the old days you had like one person in the whole village who had to go around and kind of like gather the poop and kind of put the poop away in the farming places, like the poop from the gutter in the cities. He had to move it to the to some place, and like he was like the guy who did that. So yeah, I mean, I'm interested. interesting. It's a little niche, but I like it. Another nonfiction, Babel by Gaston Doreen, Around the World in 20 Languages. So this is similar to his other book that I still haven't finished. Might finish it soon. But yeah, this also takes like kind of tells you about the history of the world somewhat in a way. I mean, you can't tell the history of the world completely in so short, but like it gives a little insight in the world by going into languages. But the one I'm reading at the moment is Europe. But well, this one is languages of the world, so it goes further. And yeah, I'm liking Gaston Doran, the one I'm reading so far. So and I enjoy languages so much, so had to buy this. A fiction one, The House of Trelawney by Hannah Rothschild. So this is an adult, funny contemporary book. Like when a book is well, when a book it's not romance, it's not crime, but it's not historical. When it's just kind of contemporary. Do you use contemporary for adult books? I feel like that's kind of mainly used for young adult books. It's slice of life anyway. And it says old money, new money, no money. The Earls of Trelawney have inherited the same castle for 800 years, but recent generations have been better at spending, making money. Now living in isolated penury, unable to communicate with each other or the rest of the world, the family are running out of options. Three unexpected events will hasten their demise: the sudden appearance of a new relation, an illegitimate, headstrong, beautiful girl, an unscrupulous American hedge fund manager determined to exact revenge, and a crash of 2008. So this is deliciously escapist and gloriously funny. House of Trelawney is a novel about family and forgiveness, chaos and crisis, and finding yourself in the most unexpected ways. So I read the first book, well, was the first book? I think it was the first book of Hannah Rothschild, which was The Improbability of Love, which was all about art and the art environment. And yeah, this is more about like, I suppose, seems to be about class and rich and yeah, that side of life. And yeah, I loved the first book so much that I thought, new book by this author, I'm buying it. Then we have another nonfiction. The next few will be nonfictions, so you know what if you want to look away. I don't know why you would look away. Maybe you would. But yeah, this is another British comedian. Most of the comedians actually I follow like enjoy are British, so yeah, so you know that. And this is I'm only in it for the parking. Everything I know about life, laughter, and disability. By Lee Riley, aka Lost Voice Guy. So Lee Riley, or Lost Voice Guy, which is his alias, is this guy. Sorry, you know what? A little moment. So it's Lee Riley, this guy. He is disabled, and part of his disability is that he can't talk like at all. He can make noises, but he can't talk. But he's still making a living from comedy. So what he does, he has like computer on stage and types out what he wants to say, or like he has made a script and then he presses play and then he like says what he wants to say. And yeah, so he's quite different, I suppose, because I don't really think there's that many comedians who don't have their own, like they don't have an actual voice on themselves, but he still has many thoughts, of course, and he's very funny. And yeah, so this is a memoir by him about his life, his disability, and his life in comedy. And yeah, I really enjoy him. So I kind of want to thought, you know what? I want to read his memoir. So yeah, and then we have the second David Mitchell book. This one is a bit older. Thinking about only makes it worse, and other lessons from modern life. So this one actually came out in 2014, so it's almost 10 years now. So it talks about Downton Abbey and different stuff like that's kind of not relevant, though it still kind of is because you have Downton Abbey movie coming out, so things go in circles and never go away. But yeah, it's a bit bigger. But yeah, it's by me, by David Mitchell. Yeah, it's once again essays and anecdotes, and yeah, Ayawadi on top by Richard Ayawadi. So it's both a memoir, but it's all because I'm pretty sure it talks about his own life, but it's also about the book. Sorry, the book. It's also about the movie The View from Top by Gwyneth Paltrow, the movie that came out in like early thousands, came out in like 2002, 3, 4, around that. And it's kind of generally known as like a meh, not that good of a movie. Well, Richard Ayoade says, no, it's an amazing movie. Oh yes, like this idea that it's amazing. And he kind of argues for that in this book. And yeah, I saw some interviews when this came out. I haven't read it yet. So yeah, kind of wanted to own it and read it. And yeah, there's not that much more to say about that really. Yeah, him. If you like think like where do I know I it from? He started as actor and then became a director, and now he's kind of a mix of different stuff. But he's most famous still, I would say, for doing IT Crowd. His Moss on the IT Crowd. So that's where you heard from. And then we have Questland by Carrie Vaughan. So this is a book about, and I'm quite sure, yeah, it's an elf book. But yeah, it takes place in this like island where suddenly you have dragons and all these different mythical things coming to life. And so yeah, that just sounds very interesting. It's supposed to kind of be like gaming based in a way. And I'm like, I'm not into gaming, but I'm into fantasy, and that's kind of what this takes its inspiration from. So yeah, um, I'm definitely here for it. Then we have The Duke Heist by Eric and Ridley. So yeah, as you can see, this is a book centered around a heist, but it's also around a duke. It's a historical romance slash heist book. And I kind of found this one like in September. It was the Volta one where you had Robin Hood as the theme. And I thought, do I know that many books with like thieves and heist? I didn't really know that many, and I kind of felt like I want to read more. So I searched for heist, and then I bought this, and then I think I got another one. Yeah, I think at least I have one more. Am I mistaken? I think I have one more. I might be mistaken. Anyway, yeah. So I have this one now, and yeah, it seems cool and interesting. So excited to read it. Well, then we have The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. So one of my goals for this year was to read more Sherlock Holmes. I started, well, yeah, I think I actually read one of these stories earlier this year. I got it from the library earlier, and then I kind of didn't read the rest of it. But I still want to read more Sherlock Holmes. And I like this cover, so yeah, I bought it. So yeah, maybe I'll finish a few more stories before end of the year. Maybe that happens. Yeah. FYI, my goals for this year, they're not going. They're not going like smoothly, but yeah, yeah, it is what it is. I have a book, and keep in mind, all these books I've had for now a week. Yeah, I've had them for a week, and so yeah, ha ha ha. Sometimes not being in the States has its advantages because this book actually isn't out yet in the States. Out this, well, maybe today or tomorrow. But yeah, this has been out for more or less 2 weeks, I think, in Norway. It is Daughter of the Deep by Rick Riordan. So yeah, this is his standalone, not Percy Jackson universe, not mythology based book. Some people claim it's a YA, but I know I've read interviews by him saying it's still middle grade. But yeah, I don't really mind middle grade. I mean, I've read all of Victorian, so why would I mind middle grade? But yeah, this is based of this A Thousand Leagues Under the Sea. That's Jules Verne's story, but it's set in modern day, and it's more sci-fi based, which usually would make me a bit scared. But since it's Rick Riordan, I'm here for it, and thinking that yeah, it's gonna be amazing, gonna be amazing. And then we have similarly to the last one. Well, the last one was Rick Riordan book. This is a Rick Riordan Presents book. It is Paola Santiago and the River of Tears by Philor K. Mejia. So yeah, this is a book based off the sorry, based off the myths the myth in Mexico. I think it's based in Mexico. Maybe it's Latin America, but at least in Mexico, where you have the La Llorona, which is like this woman who cries, and it's kind of like this horror myth. But yeah, this is a book based on that. And I think this actually might be a standalone. It's either standalone or first in series. But yeah, at this point I actually read. Well, yeah, I've actually read 3 other Rick Riordan series. Well, sorry, Rick Riordan Presents series to be precise. I've only very much enjoyed one of them, but hopefully I'll enjoy this one. And yeah, I'm giving it a go. I have a book that came out in January. It was actually one of my most anticipated reads of the year. Have I read it yet? No. Why have I not read it yet? Because anyway, now I own it. So and yeah, I might pick it up. It is a fantasy book, and I'm still in this ever like fantasy-ish slump that I've been in all year. But this is a fantasy book set in a world I already know, a world I'm familiar with. So might get to it sooner. It is Winterkeep by Christian Cashore. The amazing, unexpected 4th book in the Graceling series. So she's most famous for writing in the Graceling books. And first was trilogy, and then this came out this year, and it's in the same world. But I'm thinking it's kind of the same as like the other books. Like it's kind of a companion-ish book. They're just like you don't really have to read them all, but like they're in the same universe. And yeah, but this actually goes in. It actually continues with one character from before, which the other books they had used a new character that wasn't really known or wasn't really focused before. But this is a character that we know before. It is another Bitter Blue story. Yeah, I am on the side of people who say like Bitter Blue is not the best in that series, but I still kind of want to read more in the series. And also, I feel that there's actually a 5th one coming out. So yeah, excited to get to read this one. Mad, Bad, and Dangerous to Know. Beautiful cover. It's by Samira Ahmed, and this one takes place in yeah, it actually takes place in Paris. Yeah, Paris, and um, it's centered around the words again. Descendant of Alexandre Dumas, who wrote the Three Musketeers and all that stuff. And yeah, so it's kind of both about. I think actually, yeah, 2 young Muslim women, 2 centuries, 2 continents, one common purpose: to write their own story. So it's actually a YA book where you have 2 timelines, which I don't really think it's all that common. But yeah, love this cover, and also I really enjoyed Samira Ahmed's other book, Love, Hate, and Other Filters. And it's a YA set in Paris, France, and yeah, I'm into it. So yeah. And then that is what I was about to say. It's almost. I have a few more books. So now we have another nonfiction. Dear reader, the comforts and joy of books. Another nonfiction about books. And yeah, this is this kind of just different essays on the joys of reading, but it's just by like Kathy Weizenbrink. It's not like a collection of different authors, it's just one person. But still, excited to get it. And then we have Book Nerd, which is just kind of a little book on like just interesting things about book nerds, lots of pictures, and yeah, kind of felt like I have to own that when I saw it online. Like, buy. And then, my dear friend, that is it. No, it's actually not. It is. Wait a moment. I actually have an unboxing for you guys. Yeah, I have an unboxing. I did one unboxing actually last fall, and yeah, this is the last of for that order. And yeah, mostly I buy books from the bookstore I work in. Sometimes we can't get a hold of those books, so I found some used books from Better World Books. And since I ordered, I know that one of these books is a book I haven't read, and also that two of them are books that I have read but that I have used to own, but I can't for life me find them lately. And I want to own them. So yeah. Opening the book. Opening the book. Opening the book. Why does the book want to open? Opening the book. Opening the book. Okay, I'm just gonna. Maybe I should have like a knife, like Daniel Green on on his channel. He's always like doing this weird book hauls. But I kind of I used just this one and it worked. Oh, maybe it's actually 3 books. I thought it was just 2 ones. Interesting. Okay. I can. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, there's 3 books. So first, we have one of the first. Well, not one of the first, but like one of the first one, like when I was a teen. Favorite reads, and I still kind of reread it every now and then. It is Old Magic by Maren Curley. So, though I actually used to own this in Norwegian. It's her only book that exists in Norwegian. But yeah, but I kind of wanted to own it in English because other books are in English. I suppose if I found it in Norwegian someplace, I might get it. But yeah, when I found it in Norwegian originally, I found it in a flea market. So I suppose I might get it used because it's an old book. This book is actually a young adult because it came out in the year 2000. Yeah, quite old. But yeah, now I can show this book when I talk about this book and not just say like, oh, this book is so amazing and I'll link it, but I can show it. And I like how you didn't really know it, but I like that it's small, the small like paperback-ish version. And cool, 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 cool. Cool, 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 cool. And then we have another book that I used to own, but I haven't found, so I bought a new one. It is Valkyrie Rising by Ingrid Paulson. So this, as you can see, is YA. I suppose you can't see that, but it's a YA. It's a YA Norse mythology book, which is not really that common. It's also standalone, which is not common at all. Also, but last but not least, definitely not least, the majority of it, this like small part that's not, but like the 98% of this book takes place in Norway, which is just so cool. And also, as a Norwegian, reading this, I'm kind of like thinking, okay, does she like get things wrong or right, or how is things is it correct, like the things you're talking about, Noe? But it is quite correct, all the things she's talking about. And yeah. So yeah, this book is about a teen who discovers that her ancestry and her grandma is a Valkyrie. So yeah, she has to protect the world from demons and monsters. And yeah, I suppose you might be thinking like, well, why is there only one book? I mean, wouldn't that be lots of books? I suppose it could be, but honestly, it kind of works well with the standalone. Though, like, I would like more books from this universe, but I don't need it. But I need more people to read this book. It's amazing. Yeah, it was published back in 2017. Sorry, 2012. So yeah, it's actually around 10 years old now. So probably I don't really think you can find that many places like in bookstores, but like used bookstores, yeah, you might do it. And I found it online in Bettable Books. So yeah, so check it out. It's amazing. And yeah, if you want to read a book set in a different country than the US or the UK or France, this is a cool option for you. And then a book I haven't read, didn't just own, so this is completely new for me. Though it's a book I have had on my TBR for many years. It came out in it came out in 2008. So it's actually teen, this book. It is A Wish After Midnight by Seta Elliott. So this is a time travel book with an African American protagonist. So like I had this on my TBR for so long because time travel, I have to have all of them on my TBR, of course. But then recently I saw this on I think I saw it last year, like people talk much more about okay, people need to read much more black books and black authors and all that stuff. And I thought, oh, this book, it has a black American protagonist. I didn't really think about that. So yeah, I thought you know what? Why not buy it now and read it now? So I thought I'll check it if that website has it. It did, and I bought it. So yeah, thinking I might read this for Diverse December in December, or might read it sooner. I'm not sure. And this book has 250 pages, so it's not long at all. Actually, I think it might be the first anthology. Am I wrong there? I'm not quite sure. But yeah, now I have it. And so that's, my dear friends, is this book all. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, thoughts, leave them down below. And I'll see you soon. Bye.